Next one, giving rewards to people for doing an enjoyable activity. It's one form of reinforcement. Yes, okay. Reinforcements means you give reward. It can be prizes or money. This is what people love nowadays. Giving reward is a kind of reinforcement. Next one, birds of a feather flock together is considered as true. So what do you think? It is true. And the most important is you have to look at the context. This one, it talks about more of the hobby or similarities between people. Now, exposure to aggressive models from TV increases aggressive behavior among viewers. And this one is out to be debated, and people can make a conclusion about this. You need to look into more articles to see how aggression or how TV affects. That's why psychologists or professionals, they want to really test whether aggression really increased people's aggressive behavior. Next one, it's rich people are happier than most other people. Is it true? It's very not true. Rich people are, in fact, one of the saddest people in the world. They are one of the most lonely people in the world that needs true friendship. That's why it's not, I mean, you won't be surprised when you see a news whereby someone famous just kill himself, someone famous just commit a murder. It's not surprising at all because they are very happy despite they have a public or despite they are being famous. Next one, men fall in love more quickly than do women. What do you think? Fall in love, personally, there is no definite answer, but personally, I do not think so. Yeah, it's up to you to make your own conclusion. Next one, to show causality, researchers must use correlational design. This one, it's possible. First, you have to do correlations test. After that, you can do your regression test. And that you can show causality. Now we'll go into topic 2, which is the social cognition and also the social thinking. Now, by the end of topic 2, you'll be able to describe the cognitive process in forming your impression on others, and you explain the factors that shape our thinkings. Okay? To identify the process which we attempt to understand others, or to identify the way in which other people think about themselves or the social world. Now, so just now, topic 1, we have already talked about the basic of social psychology. So right now, we look into our thoughts, our cognition parts. Now, the surgeon's story. Now, this is a funny example. Now, there's one accident happened, and the father and the son was sent to the hospital. So the father is dead, is pronounced dead, but the son is still being operated by the surgeon. But while the surgeon was doing the surgery, suddenly the surgeon said, this is my son. So how do you explain this situation? So again, so the father and the son was involved in a car accident. But then the father died, pronounced dead. Okay? But the surgeon who operated the son, I mean the young boy in the ER room, the surgeon said that he is my son. So how do you explain this? Yeah, some people would think of way, his uncles, his aunties. Okay, the answer is that the surgeon is actually the mom, if you get the answer correctly. Yeah. Now, this one made us think. Usually when we talk about surgeons, we have already made up our mind. He must be a man. He must be a male. And he must be a father figure. He must be having a certain age. He must be 30 plus, 40 plus. We never think of a surgeon as a mom. That is how we look into our thoughts. That's before we start topic 2. This is a good example to evaluate what you're thinking right now. Now, questions. Why do I assume a person wearing spectacles is more educated, clever, or gentle? It's true. Often when we see someone with spectacles, we think, that person must have studied a lot, must be clever. But is it always the case? The second one, why did I assume that Dr. Alex James would be a male and he must be white? Can't Dr. Alex James be a female? Or can't he be an Asian? Why not? Next one, why did I assume a young lecturer doesn't know much compared to a lecturer who is 45 years old? Sometimes we tend to look down on young lecturers and we tend to focus more on the older lecturers. Why? Or why Jane, the old woman, can fix her own car, we'll be surprised. Because in our mind, we thought that Jane is she's a woman. And usually women can fix car. Secondly, she's old. That's why she can't fix her car. So these are some of the thoughts that has been applied into us throughout our whole life. Yeah, this one we'll talk more about it. Now, what is social inference? Social inference, we go that later. Social cognitions is how do people think of their world and themselves in the world. And also how people select. First one, select what you want to choose. Next one, interpret what you want to interpret. And next one, you remember what you choose to remember. And use information in making judgments and decisions. Now, as many stimulus around us today, we tend to focus on some. Some tend to focus on the camera, or some tend to focus on the laptop, or some tend to focus on the person's clothes. Why not the light, or why not the aircon? Different people, they select differently and they interpret differently. Next one, there are two types of social cognition. The first one is quick and automatic. We make decisions fast and quick. Do we think about that? Yep, we think about that, but we did it fast and quick. Let's say we take an example of a policeman on the recent shooting of the 15-year-old boy. Now, they make a quick and automatic response. So the question right now is that whether the policeman did a right judgment on the shooting. Okay? This one, it's good if you look in terms of social psychology and we look in terms of the thoughts of the policeman, whether it's right to fire the gun at all. And also doctors on emergency cases, sometimes they have operations suddenly and they need to make quick and fast decisions. And also managers making decisions on sudden disaster, on the eruption of volcano ash or tsunamis. They need to make quick decisions on that. Now the second one is the controlled thinking, more of what we are aware of and most the thinkings that we do it slowly in order to get the results that we want. Some examples are what to study. We will be thinking for the whole year what to study, where to study, which school to study. Or next one, whether to quit job, whether we want to change job. We don't do it quick, we don't do it fast. Unless in a mood of anger, we do that. But normally, we tend not to quit the job and we think for months and weeks before we make a right decision. Next one, or what to do with ongoing marital problems. Some people, they face marital problem. Some people throw in the towel, not really throw in the towel, but some people give up on their marriage, and some people try their best to save their marriage. So the question is that why people end up differently? Why with the same case or the same issues that has happened, why people have different outcomes? Now, this is based on your schema. Your schema, and we'll talk later what is schema, and between automatic and controlled thinking, they actually override each other. It means controlled thinking actually affect the automatic thinking and vice versa. And sometimes we often ask ourselves, what is the right? The question is, what is right? There's no right or wrong sometimes. And at the end, you will realize that what the decisions that you make is actually the right one.